You never know what someone's going through in their day to day.
I need to block this out. You lose yourself, but then you become the person you didn't want to become.
I truly believe in people. I think people can do a lot of good when they're offered the opportunity.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LOFT. Today I'm with Bre and Amanda Beech.
Hello.
So excited to have you guys on.
Great to be here.
Absolutely. Paige, she told me a little bit about your story. I looked more into it, and we talked about it a little bit before. Like, you guys have such an amazing story, and like to go from investing, you know, with a little bit of your dad's help, you could go investing into like, with your college funds and invest in a gym, and a very successful gym at that. Is very impressive to me, and I just wanted to kind of dive in a bit about your stories. I know you had a huge weight loss transformation, and I think there's a lot of people out there. Yeah, yeah, for real, congratulations on that. That's huge because so I actually hits home for me a little bit with some of my family, and it's like I wanted to have you on to talk about it because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, you know, taking that leap and be consistent with it. And I definitely want to learn more about your story
and being vulnerable with it too, for sure. Yeah, that's a huge thing, and I feel like the more you start to see it, and I feel like just body positivity in general as of recently has been like so huge, but the platform that you guys have created has blown up, especially because I think I was there like the first week it opened.
You may have been.
Yes.
Oh, were you?
When there was no one else there.
When no one else was there. Yes.
See, that's
So I've been talking to Gav Wolk, and she was like, all of our friends are there. Like, I literally live around the corner from you. Can you please just come back? And I was like, well, now we're starting the actual conversation because I'm literally going to be sitting down with them.
Yeah. Well, you messaged me a bunch of times. You're always like, I have to come back. I know. We're here.
You're like, bitch, I'm starting to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
So you were holding like individual drills in the beginning, right, for free, and then you started to build up a little bit of.
Oh my God.
Not intentionally, but not
intentionally individual.
Just you too.
Even when we first started, like it was just me. I was the only coach, and we opened at 5 a.m. And then we would have classes.
You were sleeping in your car.
I would sleep in my car. Yes, I would sleep in my car.
Or have a blanket
on
the
bed.
Really?
Yep. Yes. But yeah, I would be up at 4:30 in the morning, and I would get to the gym for 5 o'clock class, and there would not be people there.
So it was just like walk-in.
At first, we had no idea how many people would show up. We didn't have like a system for people to sign up. And then, so I would just be sitting there hoping that someone would walk through the door. Like legit hoping that someone would walk through the door. And
it would just be me.
Yep.
Every day.
You're a real one.
It was just great. Sometimes
and
I
you
wouldn't have
you were
anybody.
in school at the time too, right?
Yeah.
Going back into that too, like, can you get into how you guys transitioned to work more together as well, and like what happened with your whole process with school and stuff? Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, Well, I was in school for X-ray, so I was going to clinicals every day, going to class every day. So I would go at 5 a.m. to the gym, and then I would go home, shower, go to clinical all day, then go home and do my schoolwork. So like that. I remember at one point, I would go to the gym at 4 a.m. by myself, like with no one there.
4 a.m.?
Yeah, for like, it was like 2 weeks because we were at CHOP, and I had to be there by 7. I had to take the train, take the bus to CHOP, take it home. Then I had to go to night class for my anatomy class, and I would have night class from like 6 to 10 at night, and then I would go to 4 a.m. again the next day. But I mean, really, when I started, like, my fitness journey was years ago. It's so long ago that Drew and Amanda tried to get me to lose weight, and I just didn't. They tried coaching me all the time.
We tried for maybe
working
5 years
all the
before
time.
Flawless opened, and we even, like, our one friend Tony would go like to Northeast Racket Club and just train her, and I don't know what it is. I feel like when
she remembers, she recalls it.
Roadblock.
You have to have some kind of motivation.
Yeah.
Like, and for Drew, it was breaking up with his girlfriend, and then for Bre, I feel like Bre may have just needed that like sense of community at Flawless. Honestly,
yes. I mean, that was totally it. But if we're being vulnerable, my breaking point was the one time I went to Sky Zone and I jumped in the foam pit and I could not get out, and I was like mortified. Like it was the most embarrassing thing in my life. Like
it's
such oh my God, I couldn't get out, and they were like, they had to actually call someone else over to help me get out of this foam pit, and it was like the worst day of my life. And I like was crying in the bathroom, and I was like, I need to get my life together. Like, I have no reason to feel this way or act this way. So, and then thank God, you know, Amanda and Drew started Flawless, and it was just like once you get there, you had to work out. So, and it was like I would go and hang out with Amanda for an hour, and then I would get my butt kicked, and then I would go home and start the rest of my day. And it just always started you off on like
on a good foot.
Yeah,
It
on a great part of your day.
absolutely.
And then when I was going through school, it was kind of crazy going through school. Like I remember my scrubs were like huge and like, you know, through all that. And then I started working, and I remember I worked at Temple for a while, and it was crazy there, like so stressful. And
I remember you were stressed. Like,
Yeah.
I remember this time.
It's a lot.
Like, it was yesterday.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
was-
so crazy.
It was
Yeah.
a lot. It was crazy, especially because I worked at Frankfurt, and which is crazy in its own way. But going from Frankfurt to Temple was two complete opposites. And I just remember I would get done at like 4:30, and it would take me an hour to get home, and then I would go to the 6 o'clock class at Flawless, and ending your day. I mean, it was like I had to go at the end of the day.
You
there
went from
because-
0 to 100.
Yeah.
She's like, you're like 5 years ago. We couldn't even get her to
Yeah.
move.
Oh,
Then
I
she's
know.
like, 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning, I'm up. She's
Yeah.
like, I actually got 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
That
that
was
is
her.
how it is,
Yeah.
and still how it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just so crazy how much of a difference it makes.
So,
You
man,
build a habit.
yeah.
too.
So, Amanda, so you mentioned how you tried getting her there for years. So, obviously, you had your breaking point. But is your advice to someone who wants to lose, or you want, let's say there's somebody that you care about who you want to lose weight, like, is your advice to just let them have their moment where they need to do it?
I think that's what it is, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You have
we
to
can,
want it.
Exactly. You have to want it for yourself.
It took
And
me
that's what it
years. It
comes
took
down
me
to.
years to lose weight.
Yeah.
Years.
Yes.
And like there's definitely breaking points and stuff too. And like you start to get sick of like beating yourself up. Like I think especially for girls too, like it's every time you go out too, you're like you'll put on an outfit and you're like
10 outfits.
Oh my God.
yeah, and you're like
thrown on
I'm
wig.
not fucking coming.
Oh my God.
I'm
And
not going anymore.
Brie with the pictures, it'd be like if you go to take a picture with her, she always wanted pictures everywhere
hated
she
everything.
went. But like we had to take maybe 100 pictures every time because she didn't like any of them. And it was just like so sad. But now
We can sit this
take one and
combo
we're
out.
good.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's so true though.
No.
It is
Yeah.
true. It's kind of crazy though, but I kind of want to circle back into the transition of the actual like Flawless itself. Like how long do you think it was before you were like or until you were like, okay, this is really clicking and like I need to get more trainers on board. I see this full term. Tell
So,
us about that.
Really, in our first month, we had like 55 members,
Yeah.
I would say. But I feel like maybe after that first year, and then once we were able to bring Bre on too, I feel like that was really where it was like, okay, like this is now like becoming super legit. Like
Yeah.
we're able to now provide her with another career and get her out of X-ray. And I feel like that for me is when it was like, all right, this is something now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like after I feel like seeing people's bodies transform over time, it was like this is
Is Bre's story, like your story, like one of the staples of like, hey, I'm the like, you know, I
It
start.
is.
Oh, yeah.
Is it one of the
Staple.
staple stories,
yeah.
right? Like,
it is, and we always go back to it. Like even though like I mean, she's been at Flawless now for almost 5 years.
That
and
is so crazy.
That's
I
amazing.
know.
But like
That's
we
so
just had a
crazy.
transformation post of her with like her first
Oh.
burpee at Flawless and her doing
trash.
burpees
I saw it.
now.
is it on Instagram?
Yeah, it's insane.
insanity. You got to see it.
Yeah,
The
it's
Flawless
so-
one? Is it
Yes,
Flawless
yes.
Fitness Instagram?
Yes.
I'm gonna go
Trash.
look it up right now.
It's so awesome though too. I remember who somebody was doing toe to bar, and they did like a transformation video or
probably me.
something.
Could have been you.
I did it.
Could have been.
But like,
That was like a big thing at Flawless at one point was getting your toes.
well,
out.
yeah, because you don't think it's that hard, and then
Oh
you
my
hop
God.
on that
You
bar
don't.
and you're like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
no, it's so hard. But I think like having Flawless one as an outlet for myself was a huge part of my life, and then being able to transition like when I did X-ray, like I love X-ray and it's a great job, but I just knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do like for the rest of my life. I just felt like there was more that I was meant to do, like, and props to everyone that works in the medical field because it's really hard, and but I just knew that it wasn't what I wanted, and where I wasn't where I wanted to be. And when I did go through my transformation at Flawless, I just fell in love literally with the process. And I went and got my CrossFit certification, which was one of the scariest things that I've actually ever done. Because you go in and all CrossFit people. Like girls were like jacked.
Probably
and, like,
intense.
It's so
like,
intense.
muscle ups
Yeah,
and
no.
like
And they're
crazy.
all so competitive.
Oh my
too.
god.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, they're like, I remember at one point they were like, oh, like, can you imagine like if your gym had air conditioning and like our gym has air conditioning? And I was like, oh my god, weird.
You're
So-
like,
so-
you're like,
so
yeah,
weird.
what?
That's crazy.
So stupid.
But
So
and
you-
then I did that.
That's amazing. So you guys emphasize you make it a nice female only community, which I know it, you know, like you
That's
you go to Edge Fitness
yeah, but
or
it's like
something
literally
like.
a family. Like,
No, that's
No,
I'm
yeah,
saying
it
that's
is.
good though. It's good because it gives
Oh,
people
yeah.
the chance to be vulnerable, be open, and more comfortable in that space to really thrive.
Definitely.
So Amanda, when did you first know you wanted to open up a gym? And I know Drew was obviously with Fuel Hunt. We'll get into that,
Yes.
but when did you know you wanted to open up a gym?
I've wanted to do it since college. I didn't know I had two options. It was to work for the Phillies and sell sponsorships or open a gym. But then when I graduated, I became a personal trainer, but then I feel like my parents were always like, you gotta have a full-time job with benefits, 401k,
Yep.
all this stuff. So they were like, you need a full-time job. You can't just be doing personal training as like a part-time job. So I did get a 9-to-5 job as a recruiter, finding jobs for people. And I liked what I did. But I had a newborn also at the time, and I worked in the city, and I would leave the house at 6 a.m, and I wouldn't get home until 7 p.m. I wouldn't see him in the morning. I would spend an hour with him when I got home. And
if
I
you
would
want
hang out
to
with
do
him all
well
day.
in that career
So
too,
Bre
it's
raised
like
them.
hours.
I got to hang with him.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember that.
She
too.
dropped them all.
Yeah.
We're besties now.
That's awesome.
Yes,
See
besties.
God.
But yeah, and I would come home and I was like, I'm not spending time with my boyfriend. I think it was my boyfriend at the time. I don't think we were engaged yet, but and I wasn't spending time with my son, and I'm like, this isn't the life that I want to live. Like, this is not for me. And I still had a huge passion for fitness, and then that's when I started these boot camp classes. I had this other business called Mom Mind Body, and
Throwback.
Bre right here.
Me.
She would come to my
Noticing a
outdoor
common
camp
theme here.
classes,
Yeah.
and it literally was like just Bre and one
Yeah.
other person.
That's amazing.
But after that, like, I came home the one day and Drew was like, I've never seen you so happy. He's like, you're a very happy person. He's like, I've never seen you this happy. And
It's
he's
amazing.
like, are we doing it? Like, are we going to open a gym? Like, do we do it? And then we literally sat down that day that I got home, and we just started
Supportive
coming up
with
with,
it.
with
Yeah.
Flawless, and
Everyone thought they were
started
crazy.
branding.
Well, that's the kind.
You have to be able to see it first, though.
I was gonna say, like,
Absolutely.
you sacrificed money at the time for your passion, and at the end of the day, it all worked out because I'm one of those people who believes that if it's something you're passionate about, that the money will come as long as you truly love it.
Very true.
And kind of what Paige was hitting on too is like you said, when you had Drew, which I think is very
That's
big.
huge.
Yeah,
too.
for
to have
sure.
someone to be able to back your vision
Yes.
is
Oh,
very
yeah.
rare.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
And like you kind of mentioned, like you had her. She was the one person
Yes.
who believed in it, and all it takes is one
Yes.
person, right? And
Yes.
then I say this too. It takes 3 to 4 people to rule the world, because as long as you have your family and your team, everything else kind of comes together.
That's very true.
Also, shout out to your fiance, Ant, because Ant,
That's my
I feel
man.
like, yeah,
Hey.
he's been supportive. How long have you guys been together? He's been there
9
since,
years.
yeah,
Well,
9 years now. Wow.
I partially blame him for why I was severely overweight.
As well, yes.
We'll cut this out.
Yeah, I
You're like,
definitely
Anthony.
wasn't the way that I was forever, but he loved me no matter what I looked like, so he's the best. But
What
Yes.
did your
It is the
life
best.
look like before Flawless? Your habits, your
oh my god,
like what did it look like before?
Oh my
I
God.
would just
Even man is like shit. I mean,
yeah, I would
Like, we're really getting into
are you
it.
sure you want to answer
Remember
this?
just
Yeah.
like Bre pop-ums, like throwing them in the air and just catching them.
You were part of the problem. You're feeding her.
oh my god,
It's like,
no.
I'm sorry, Bre. We didn't
No,
mean to bag
I
on you,
don't
but
care. I don't care. I mean, nothing is worse. Ant and Drew are the worst people to hang out with. They make fun of me literally all day, so I really don't care.
that's so
that's
funny.
the best though too.
Oh,
Like, you
yeah.
have to be able to like laugh at it and be like, you know
Now
what?
I
Like,
can.
thank God. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I truly, I mean, I didn't have like a ton of friends. I didn't have a ton of hobbies. I worked at the Northeast Racket Club, and I would literally just like, I would just like sit at home and watch TV and eat whatever I wanted, like whenever I wanted. And I mean, I think it's really amazing, especially now, how important like health and fitness has become over the last few years. But before, it was like no one said they worked out. Like it wasn't like
No,
you know what I mean. Like not everybody like went.
COVID flipped shit on its head.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Another conversation, but
yeah. I mean, I just didn't. I would once in a while work out with Bre and Amanda, and I would die every day. I remember one time you coached me through a workout in the backyard, and I was actually on my deathbed and. Like almost vomiting, and I went and took it. My mom was like, "Go in the shower, relax, like go like take a breath." And I was like dying because I physically like remember like walking up the steps was like literally hard. Like I'm not even being dramatic.
But like initially getting into it, especially when you don't have habits set and you are overweight, it is very hard.
It's discouraging.
One, it's defeating because you walk into a brand new environment and you see a million people around you that are doing the moves 1,000 times better. I remember when I walked into Flawless and I think that day we had to do like 50 burpees.
It was Flawless 50. It was Flawless 50. I remember.
Wow.
I legitimately was like, I don't think I've ever done a burpee.
Yeah.
And I was like,
she's burped a lot from her food.
Yes, literally. I was like, this is
McDonald's.
this is not what I remember. Like, no. And I remember like being like, holy shit, but it was so comfortable. Yeah. And you were like, do it at your pace.
Yes.
And it was so much. It was not that defeating feeling of like walking into a gym of a million people and like having to be like, how do I even do this movement?
Right.
Yeah.
It was
I think that's what scares everyone.
Yes, that's the scary part.
Yes. So Bre, like, what was it like when you first started? Obviously, like how she mentioned perfectly that you would see all these people doing these crazy moves, box jumps, burpees, whatever. Like, how did you get through those first few weeks and months to feel like you can kind of like not compete, but kind of like keep up with it?
I mean, I definitely, I could only do like 5 burpees at a time. I definitely couldn't do box jumps. I remember the bands, like for pull-ups, I would use the black and the green band, which are the two most, the most resistance, so it'd be most helpful.
And now she uses none.
Yeah.
And, there you go.
But it was never like anyone made you feel like you were any less. Like everyone was so supportive. I remember when I would go to 5 a.m., we had like this solid 5 a.m. crew that was there every day. And we were just always, and like half of us were just starting and then half of us were like just naturally athletes. So I feel like it came easier to some people.
For sure.
And I try to remind people of that all the time. Like I literally, and I do love that I came from where I came from because I can empathize with people and like try and let them understand that I know how they're feeling, and I had to do with Bre and Amanda, like when we would work out and they would do 20 burpees, I would do 10 because that's all I could do. But the amount of effort I was putting out in 10 burpees, they were putting out in 20. So
without a doubt, you
just have to work your way up. You have to modify, you have to scale, and you have to understand and know that like we're all here to support you.
And it is a process.
Yeah. The girls are literally, you can't go there and not feel supported. Like everyone is so amazing and so encouraging and supportive. And like if one person like makes their box jump or does their pull up, like everyone is like cheering the whole time.
Yes.
And I mean, I think that's just a huge part of getting through. You know what I mean? You just have to take that leap. And like once you come, like your first 3 classes are free. Shout out.
Yeah. But, plug your shit. Plug away. 100%.
So you have nothing to lose, truly. Like if you just came, and that's why I tell everyone, I'm like, just try it. Like even if it's not for you, like that's fine. Like if you come, you try it, but at least you're moving. Like maybe you can get some ideas. You could try it flawless from home. You know what I mean? Like we have so many outlets just to move your body. Cause like we were talking about, like it's so important for your mental health just as much as your physical health
because it breeds confidence, right? It kind of breeds how you carry yourself in a room. You know, if you're working out and you want to, I want to start going back to the gym. You know what I mean?
Because the
like,
endorphins going.
For sure, exactly. For scientific terms,
the guys are so jealous of Flawless. We got to start Flawless gym.
Well, you guys only have the Valentines Day is when they're allowed in, right?
And then when they come out, they're dying.
That's hysterical.
They're such cheaters. Yes. They are such cheaters.
I was going to say, what is that day like? Like, is it like, wow, you
so
little bitch?
I make sure I coach that weekend because it's
hysterical.
Cracking up. It is hysterical.
That's hilarious.
And the guys are like, they're always going outside there, and I'm like, they'll come back. I'm like, did you just throw up? They're like, I was just getting fresh air. And then the people coming into the next class, they're like, there's throw up outside. I'm like, oh my God.
All right, boys.
It gives you like a new found respect for your girl too.
Yeah,
I
always say that. This year was the first year that and I got to go, and we went with like a couple of our friends and their husbands and boyfriends, and they like we go every day, like all the girls, like, and they were all dying. Like Ant is the only one that's like weirdly good at burpees and also lifting and whatever.
He's just like a little like
it's annoying. It's annoying.
He's one of those people that's good at everything.
But everyone else is dying, and I was actually just excited for my friends because I was like, this has to be so cool for like their boyfriends and their husbands to like see them in this environment and them like thriving, like they were crushing pull-ups and crushing burpees, like the guys were dying.
We're like, we have to have a conversation when we get home.
They did. My one friend, we saw him at the gym the other day, and he was like, dude, after that flawless workout, like I knew I had to get myself like back together. I had to get back to the gym.
That's
like,
awesome though too.
And a lot of the guys do sign up for the memberships after.
Yeah, he's like, I swore the next year when I come back, like I'm gonna crush it with Shan. Like,
hell yeah, I think
it was so cool.
I mean, especially with summer coming around too. I mean, there's really no excuses anymore, right? Get your ass outside, get to work. You know what I mean? So Bre, obviously, I have very specific reasons why I asked these questions. Bre, did you have any like bad eating habits, or did you have like a certain addiction that you had when it came to like your led to your unhealthy lifestyle in the beginning? Like, is there something that like really led to that? Was it something mental, or was it a food addiction you had? Like, what kind of led up to that moment, like that whole lifestyle?
I would say, because I remember my senior year of high school, I was like dieting and like eating better. I wasn't like, I was definitely overweight, but I wasn't like where I was. And I started dating, and then in 2015, my dad passed away, and that was like, thank you. That was like a huge part of my life that definitely went downhill, like super depressed. I truly don't even know how I made it past that, but I think Flawless was a huge part of it. I mean, I always say, like, without Drew and Amanda and Ant, like, I wouldn't be half of who I am today. Like, especially Drew. Like, I love all of you guys, but Drew is like literally the only reason that I'm anywhere close to who I am. But I remember after that, I just went into like a huge depression. Like, I didn't go out. I didn't talk to anybody. I literally would just hang out inside and like eat and do whatever. Like, and I would go out to eat. Like, we would go out to eat like every week, every weekend, like, and I just didn't care. Like, I was like, oh, I'm in a relationship, like, I don't care. Like, I wasn't in school at the time, so I just really had nothing to do. I was out of high school, just doing whatever I wanted, and it just kind of spiraled. Like, it was like, and then before I knew it, I was like 260, and I was like, oh my god, like,
you kind of lose track.
Where did my life go?
I have a question about that as well, just because I know a lot of people who have actually gone through like a lot of loss and stuff within the past couple years, and have been in long-term relationships that affected.
Yeah.
How was your relationship with Ant when that happened, and did you feel like? Because I have a lot of people that are like, I felt like a burden. Like, when I lost my grandparents and stuff, I felt like a burden to everyone around me. And how was it, like, going through that transition? And, like, how was it, like, that your brother helped you and stuff? And what advice would you give to somebody else?
Well, my relationship was definitely hard. I mean, that whole day when that happened was, like, we were all together. And it was, like, it was just a crazy few days. I mean, like, my dad was sick, but he wasn't like in the hospital. Like, none of us were prepared for it to happen. So it was definitely just like a shock as a whole. And then I would say my depression through it was definitely like a huge strain on our relationship. I just like didn't want to do anything. I was just miserable all the time, and it's like it affected every part of every relationship I had, like my friends, my family, and like, you know, everyone always says like, I'm sorry, and like they always try and help. I'm like, there's nothing that you're gonna say that's gonna help me feel better, but just be there. You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
And my advice would be, you just have to find something that makes you happy again. Like, me and my dad were literally best friends. Like, that morning we were supposed to go shopping. Like, I blame my shopping addiction on my dad. And
so there is an addiction somewhere.
So that was just, it was just really, really hard for me. But I would say just to find something that makes you happy again. Like, Flawless and Amanda and all those girls just like brought such a light to my life that it was like I could not be miserable. You know what I mean? Like, especially Amanda, I always say, even now, I purposely will go to Amanda's classes. Like, if I'm having an extremely bad day, and I'm like, I just need a good laugh. So, like, I'll go to Amanda. Like, Amanda cannot physically be in a bad mood. Like, she's
That's amazing.
Just so happy all the time. Like, I wish I was more like her. And you get that energy, and it's just like,
for sure,
it just changes. So that would be my biggest thing, is just find something, something that makes you happy. But I would say one thing I learned also is just not to rely on someone else for your happiness. So I think a lot, especially when I was overweight, I relied on Aunt a lot for my happiness, and I thought that was just going to carry me through life, and it really didn't. I mean,
It doesn't.
It just doesn't.
It never will.
It never fills
Absolutely
that spot,
not.
So.
I always say a person should never complete you, but they should compliment you.
Yeah. My mom always said men are accessories. So
I mean, women are...
I've been queen codependent until like 6 months ago.
My hands are tied here. I can't... But
yeah.
Nah, it's actually huge because someone I'm close to, maybe I might get into it later, we'll see. But someone I'm very close to thinks that way. And I tell them all the time that that's just not the case. And I want to get them started on their fitness journey, and I think she'd fit right in with you guys.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
And so I definitely want to get her involved in that.
Are you talking about me? No.
As a matter of fact, Paige, I didn't mean to say this, but when I saw you eating the chips at Garage the other day,
I did not eat a crotch.
Okay, no. But no. So I'm talking about my sister Haley, right? Okay. So she's somebody who has been an athlete her whole life. Went through, play basketball her whole life, such an athlete, and then goes through a lot mentally. She battles demons a lot. I noticed, and she eats at herself, and she resorts to certain habits, unhealthy habits that lead to her not loving herself, loving her body. And something I've noticed is that like most people, which is perfectly fine, that she sometimes relies on other people. When in reality, I tell her, like, listen, I need to speak for myself too. Like, finding happiness in yourself before you find it with anyone else. And I want her to get started with you guys. I want to put you guys in touch because I think it's something that she needs. She needs a community. She needs, because she works hard. She wants to be healthy. She wants to live a good life. It's hard because it can be lonely, and I completely sympathize with her on that. And for me personally, like, I'll hit her up and I'll just get so angry because I see her potential and I see what she can be, and it's tough because when I see her not living up to that, it's for me, it's as her brother, I'm like, I just want you to be better. I want you to
So
I want her. Yeah,
This
she's such a
sounds like you and
pure,
Joe.
innocent person. Like, would never hurt anyone. She's the best with kids, best with animals. She's a loving, beautiful person that deserves to be happy. And it's like when I have to come home and see that she's not happy, or just stuff like that, or people treating her wrong because, like she says, she probably relies on the person she's with too much, and that can be stressful on them. Yeah. So I want to put you guys in touch, and if Haley, if you're watching, I want to let you know, I do love you, and I know you can get better, and that's literally.
I love you, Haley.
I
love Haley.
Literally, I also love Haley. Come on over.
This is literally the reason why I wanted to have you guys on. I know you guys have a great relationship with Paige, but for my sister, I want to publicly be like, hey, listen, we love you. We want you to get better. You can do this. There's people out there that can get you better, and there's a community of people out there who will love you for who you are. And I think she needs to see that and hear that. Without
a doubt, and girls can be mean.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
a thing. Girls,
I hate. I'm me and Dylan are. Well, Dylan has a girlfriend, but I would be so.
Dylan was like, "Whoa!"
I'm really
where's
alone.
my mic?
I'm alone on this episode. Fuck.
Yeah.
But no, seriously though, you had a thought. Finish your thought.
Girls are just mean.
Girls suck ass. Girls suck, dude.
Girls are very cruel, and I feel like it's so easy, especially in the days of social media and seeing things online. It's cruel. And it's so easy to compare yourself to something that isn't even real.
Oh, no.
I know.
Is not even real. And don't get me wrong, I'll throw a filter on myself all the time.
Love
whatever. Love a good filter. Yeah. But I own up to it. I'm on camera right now. I don't look exactly like my pictures that I throw up. But I'm here. I'm real. I can say that. I don't care. But also, there's certain girls that I know, even so this is actually diving a little bit further into it, but I saw an influencer that told me she went to no, she
told
didn't.
you.
She didn't.
She
was speaking directly.
You guys are hanging
See,
out.
that's how good of an effect that this influencer had, and she was speaking to her.
She's like, Paige, I have to tell you about this influential party.
Oh
no.
my God.
But she came out with a podcast, and they were all in Vegas for something. And she was like, it was genuinely so sad because people literally there were trying to take certain pictures with certain people. Nobody was conversating. That is not a world I want to live in. No. That is absolutely not a world I want to live in. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think that a place that you guys have set up and that influential realness is what you need to be around and stuff. And like kind of going back to Haley and stuff too, I think that would be so perfect for her because she really is. It's just you need somebody that's real that you can lean into and be vulnerable with.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Everyone needs a push in life.
It's hard in general nowadays too because we've recently gotten super into more of the ingredients, and like I think the hard thing in the world right now also is how they make everything seem healthy. Like they make a Mac, like a Big Mac from McDonald's, seem healthy.
Yeah, they say no preservatives or some shit.
Like,
still a Big Mac.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So like you have to look in the ingredients. That's if I could just shout out a piece of advice to everyone is just looking at your ingredients. Even like my almond milk today. Like we looked at almond milk. There's so many ingredients. I'm like, I'm just gonna make my own. Like it's so easy. Like but like there's so many things that cause inflammation in your body, like that literally just turn directly into fat that are just causing like cancerous cells and different things that cause diseases like in your body that you have no idea. Like you could go through a whole day and think that you're being super healthy and you truly have no idea what's going in your body and what's going on inside. And that has been like a huge thing, and Drew is to thank for all this because he reads all the textbooks.
he reads everything. He read like this book called Boundless, and it's literally like a textbook.
Yeah, it's like 300
written
pages.
by
awesome.
Ben Greenfield, and he's like a true biohacker.
And he just gives us the clip notes, but so you can
that's what you need in life.
Yeah.
But also our nutritionist is like super big on ingredients
For
and
sure.
how to fuel yourself properly.
I need to stop going to Chick-fil-A for lunch every day.
Yes.
It's so-
He's trying to fat shame me over here.
No.
That's the thing. Everyone would say Chick-fil-A is like,
you know,
not that
Chick-fil-A
bad.
is not that bad because they use peanut oil, but you don't realize that peanut
It's
oil is
fast
actually
food.
poison.
it starts to add up because you know what? I recently maybe my sleep schedule should improve too, but like I have not been eating well. Today I cooked myself like chicken, rice, and but like I noticed that when I don't eat well, I feel awful. But like it's so
My
tough.
skin
Oh
gets
my God.
Because it's so tough because like I'm coming in from work and I'm like, it'll take me 5 minutes to go get Chick-fil-A and eat this, whereas it'll take me 20 minutes to go home and cook something, and I'm like, I'm just being lazy, and I gotta stop being lazy.
That's a huge part of it. You have to.
I know it.
You
I'm just
recognize it.
I'm trying to change it. So I'm trying to like force myself to do it and put myself in situations where like, all right, there's no going back. You know what I mean?
I used to think that it was like gross to eat healthy. I'm like, all right, I got to eat chicken and veggies and rice all the time. Like,
good. You can make it good.
Yeah, you can make it delicious.
I like it. I'm just lazy. I don't know. I'm just straight up lazy.
Do you meal prep? I don't even meal prep because I fortunately have the luxury of working from home and like working from wherever now.
Oh,
like,
lucky you. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And I am so thankful for it. So I truly like will make dinner, and like we usually make a lot of it, and then I'll just have leftovers if I want, or I can just make whatever. But my biggest thing is like just eating like whole foods. Right. And I recently, like, we've been having these salads, and shout out to my friend Mary Grace that has shown me all these things. She's the best.
She's so cute.
She's like, I'm putting apples in my salad and my tuna and like all these like different things that like, they're literally just things that we've had in our fridge forever, and she's put them all together, and it's so good. Like, we made this salad before I came.
Make it fun.
It was so good. And I'm like,
there's some walnuts in it?
Yeah, we had walnuts in it.
Almonds,
like literally so many
I was ready.
whatever you have.
When's the last time you had a salad with walnuts?
Probably from Chick-fil-A. Yeah, they have good salads.
It's actually Wawa, and it was.
Oh my God.
Guys, I told you I'm so lazy. I am so
step it
lazy.
up.
I know. I need a nutritionist.
Wait, I want to dive into now. Drew's working with Fuel Hunt. Now, how has that been in regards to that transition? Because throwback, one of my first internships when I was interviewing was with Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Was
At
with
his old
Drew
company.
at his old company in Manayunk.
I do remember that.
How crazy is that?
I forgot about that.
Yes. I literally got the position, but then also was interviewing for the 76ers and wound up taking the 76ers. And then everything blew up, and I was like, what?
Like,
I should have been on that train.
Well, I guess Drew's not coming on now, so.
Fuck me over once. Shame on you.
What was the company? What was the company?
He works for like a marketing, like a sales company.
Oh, okay. It wasn't his though?
No.
It wasn't his?
No.
Okay.
But I
No, it's just
interviewed
something that he
with
worked
him
for.
and John. Yes. Yep.
John is just living his best,
He is living his best
touring the
life.
world in his van.
Which is
so-
crazy because I was
Yeah.
sitting. But
Wild.
isn't that nuts though? Because truthfully, when I was younger, I used to look at people that were like 26, 27, 28, and I'm like, they got it all together. I thought I was going to have a house.
Oh
I
my
thought I was
God.
going to be married. I thought I was going to like have the whole shebang.
Know what you want to do for the rest of your life?
Absolutely not. And I sat down and like I sat in front of them and had an interview and got an internship with them. And they're not even, now look at them.
Yeah.
They went the complete.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
You would
they're
have got
both
laid
just
off
living their
regardless.
best.
Yeah. I know. I'm still not there. So
That
regardless.
shit, I mean,
Like,
that,
I'm still looking.
that shit's so overrated though. Like just having your life together at 25, 26,
yeah.
like it's so overrated. Like you could be 35 and not know what you want to do yet. Like there's Gary Vee says
John
it,
was
and
just
it's kind
talking
of
about that.
it's like it's so overrated. Like what? So you have a house, and granted, if you want that, that's phenomenal. I love that for you. I mean, great.
Respect,
Love that for you.
Respect if you
But
do have that
truly,
and everything. But
something that Amanda figured out initially is like you found something you're passionate about, and ultimately made that sacrifice.
you
And
took a risk.
how old were you when you made that risk? When you took that risk?
2017, I was 26.
Oh, so you
old I am.
Let's
see,
go.
That's amazing. Because
See
guess
that?
what? Because guess what? If it didn't work out, now you're 30. You still have so much time to figure something
You'll
out.
figure
Like,
it out.
It's like
That's
I don't
what.
know.
But I feel like for me and Drew, it's always like we'll always figure it out no
Yeah, that's
matter
what
what.
he
For
Like,
sure.
we always say that,
Everything
no
is
matter
figure
what.
outable. I always say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
you guys have a
Literally.
strong
Well,
bond. It
yes.
seems like.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the
And
best.
I've been very fortunate to have him through all of this
Mm.
because, like,
This is
for
just
the
gonna be a
first
podcast about Drew.
Drew.
And I'm
Drew.
already. Come on.
best person ever.
Yeah.
I got. I'm keeping it in too. Keeping it on.
But like, I didn't pay myself for the first
Yeah.
3.5,
Yeah.
almost 4 years. Like, I just started paying
You
myself
can't,
this
yeah.
summer, and I mean, he has been very lucky to have
Yeah.
him. And he's just been working his ass off, literally, to provide for our family.
Right.
Can
Sure, we
you
still have a roof over our
touch
head.
on that too? Because I think that it's very hard, and a lot of people don't have that. And you both are fortunate enough to have men in your lives that have pushed you, supported you, and how important has that been?
I mean, I'd be lost, honestly.
Yeah.
without him.
I'd be lost without either of them. So.
Men, step it up.
Yeah.
Drew's loving this episode.
Yeah, I know.
Drew
seriously.
is like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I would say though, like I remember when I first started, Ant was not on this journey with me. He was like,
No.
literally, I have a video of me eating.
And
grilled
looks
chicken.
great too.
I know. And
The video.
He started working out like 3 months ago.
For men, it's completely different.
But
yeah.
I had this video eating grilled chicken, and I literally zoomed in on him. He's literally eating a Big Mac and fries from McDonald's, like 2 Big Macs. And I was like, oh, like it's just so hard. And like,
Yeah.
so I don't know when exactly it was, but we actually
I
got
don't
to a
either.
point, again, just being open and honest, which I love. Like we got to a point where I was like, we're kind of on different wavelengths. Like we're growing in different ways. Like these are things that are important to me. These are things that are important to you. Like, and like we kind of had to figure it out. I was like, we're either going to do this together or like we're not. And we did, thank God. But
Yeah.
Put a ring on it.
yeah, and I was
Finally.
like, he
Yeah,
literally
Yeah. Right.
did like a 360. Like we just started meal prepping together all the time. We would just make better
awesome.
decisions. We would start working out all the time. I remember we would work out at Drew and Amanda's at first, and Aunt would be inside like watching like the football game, like
yeah.
or like something,
Yeah.
like
That's amazing.
inside. And I'm like, this just isn't gonna work. so.
How important do you think that is too? Because like kind of, and I had a situation where I was in an 8-year relationship, and we sat down and we had that conversation, and I was like, this, like, one, I don't think that I was in the correct headspace to like love myself and
Yeah.
have figured out myself. Like, unfortunately, I've gone through a lot in my life that held my attention at the forefront. So like not understanding yourself and your own values, I think is very difficult to bring into a relationship and not be able to have those difficult conversations. So
Right.
how important do you think in a relationship is constantly getting in check with these are my values, and as you grow, having those difficult conversations?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is like I always say, because like people will say, oh, you guys have been together for 9 years, like you've like Ant's was
You're not sick of each other yet.
yeah, like and like
Yeah.
people like Ant was my first boyfriend, and like we've been together ever since, and they're like, oh, that's crazy that you haven't been with all these people, and I'm like, truly, I feel like I've been with multiple people because we've grown so much throughout these 9 years.
That's
Like
beautiful.
I feel like I've dated different people. We've gone through so many different things together, and it is important. It's important to be aware and like what you want and your goals and like having goals in general. And literally, I mean, I'm a completely different person, and that was it. You have to sit down, and it wasn't like we hated each other. So it wasn't like we were unhappy. I was just like, you know, we have to have the same kind of goals and like direction on where we're going in life if we're going to be doing it together. And he was like, I understand and like I love you and like I want to be with you and like I'm ready to like put in the work to do that. And we just totally formed like a new life together, and it's like a new standard, you know what I mean? Like we don't even think of
I respect that so much.
Yeah. We'll go get
It's very
cheesesteaks
hard
together
to-
on the Sunday. But, you know,
little cheat day.
yeah, like
Yeah.
but it's just like values, and
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that Drew again. But that Drew and Ant
I'm
have
gonna
gotten so
tally
close.
these up at the
I
end.
know.
I'm gonna
Like, take a
rewatch
shot
it.
every
Dylan's
time
putting it
you-
on the-
Every
on the
time we
wall.
say Drew.
But they've gotten super close, and Ant doesn't have like a ton of family, so like he's gotten super close to my family, which I'm super grateful for, and that they've been able to like teach him and like teach us and like help us grow in our relationship and as people, like individually. Like Ant came home the other day and he was listening to like one of the Bajers podcasts, and I'm like, what is going on?
He's
Like,
a
what are you
totally
doing?
different
Like,
person.
yeah,
It's
he's like
amazing.
reading books and stuff, and I'm like,
But that's awesome though too, because like and it's so true. I think that as years go on and stuff too, it is like dating somebody different. Like we're in our 20s, like
Yes.
Yeah.
like there's a lot of transition and growth periods and milestones that we're gonna hit individually.
Good
in
and
our
bad.
lives. Good and bad. But that's how you have to, like, if you respect somebody and you're ready for a relationship, you have to go through the ebbs and flows together
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
respect that as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
this episode's telling me how single I am. It's ridiculous. Honestly.
I honestly think so. Like,
No, so I actually wanted to so let's say for those single people like me and Paige, because obviously you guys have
no, we're not dating.
no, we're not dating. Sorry, guys. So like I said, so like for somebody who's going through this journey alone, what kind of advice can you give them? Because yeah, you can have somebody you can come home to every day, but there's not people like that. You know, not everybody has someone they can come home to. Sometimes they have to come home and face their demons, or just come home and just go to bed alone. Like go through life alone to start. Like
Kevin's like,
oh
I'm
my
like,
god,
this isn't
like, I'm
about me.
talking about myself.
This sounds
he's
like
like,
it's about.
he's like asking for a friend.
I'm
Actually,
cutting.
actually, I'm gonna be alone
Asking
tonight.
for a
Cutting
friend.
this out. No, so in all seriousness though, shit, I sound so lonely. No, I'm not. So in all seriousness though, like what are some advice to somebody who is going through this journey alone, like who wants to start fitness and has to, you know what I mean, keep fighting that, you know?
Is it me?
Honestly, man, I mean to start, yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, I feel like you just have to do it for yourself.
Yeah, that's
sure.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You just
Like
have to
if
do it
you
for yourself.
have that want, you'll, like we said, you'll figure it out. Like, and I feel like when you're in this kind of atmosphere, whether you're at Flawless or whether you're at Edge or whatever, you know, you're gonna find those like-minded people, those people that
sure.
want to
Without a
work
doubt.
hard, that people that want to have a good life like this and healthy life, and you know, you'll grow into that and you'll find people that are like you, and that want the same things. But I mean, it's really just your head. Like you have to work through the things in your mind. Like
For sure.
I remember when I was first starting and I'm like, oh, I want to eat this or that. And it's like, it's just
Why?
for what?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Yeah, well,
for the 10 seconds
Yeah,
that I'm
right.
eating it and
Mouth
like, I
pleasure.
feel like shit.
Exactly, yeah,
It's
exactly.
so true.
Literally mouth pleasure.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I always tell girls, I'm like, text me if you're gonna eat a slice of pizza. Which again, not saying that
Not
you should
to
never
shame-
eat pizza
yes.
or whatever.
You might need a
but-
burner phone at that point.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I'm
like,
like text me if you're
You're
like,
like,
You'll
actually.
get 100.
shit, I take my second phone and tell everyone
some
not to
girls
eat this.
Some girls have like the binge tendencies or
Yeah.
like things that they do, and like I'm like, if you're ever feeling lonely, like I always say, I'm like, do you want to go to Target with me? Like I'll go. I went food shopping before, like with one of our members. Like
That's awesome. Hell yeah,
like
that's awesome.
I'm like, let's do this together. Like I was like, I send recipes constantly. Like Jill, I'll send
That's
things
awesome.
to Jill. Like we're always here, and I always say that because I know that I needed someone in that time, and I'm so thankful that I had so many people that were there for me. But if you need someone, like anybody, like you can reach out to us. Like if you're not a member and you need help or you need, you know,
Yeah, and I didn't mean
guidance.
and I didn't mean to discredit people who are in relationships or thinking that it's
Oh,
easier
no,
for them.
no.
I'm just saying like
it's hard either way.
and that's actually a good really good point too, because like even if you're in a relationship, like that doesn't mean that you're not lonely.
Right.
You got our phone. Thanks,
I
Paige.
got that.
Shout out producer Dylan. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
It's always so helpful.
But no, seriously, like if you know, it is good to have good people around you, not necessarily a relationship too. That's something I noticed you've hit on too. Like you always talked about even Drew and Amanda a
Yeah.
lot. So Amanda, I have a very specific question for you that I wanted to ask you. How are you so happy all the time?
I don't know.
Where does this
Yeah,
come from?
I don't know.
I've never seen you not.
Because
happy.
that is
She's never.
insane. It's
crazy.
crazy to
Really?
maintain.
I think I'm a happy person too, but I'm like, I have
I know
my
I'm a
days.
Yeah.
all the time.
I've been more
definitely have
bitchy
my
lately.
mood sometimes.
No.
Like,
I mean, me and Amanda will be like snippy, but she's
Yeah.
never in general an unhappy person or in a bad mood. And like, I feel like not to say that you never have anything to not be happy about, but you just have so much, like Parker, Drew, Flawless, the girls, like me, and like so many things that like make you happy. And,
True.
and that's what you need. Like, and I think I had to learn that too. And I tell people all the time, and there has been friends that have come and gone through my life, and there has been people that I thought would be close to me forever, and you outgrow people, and it's so true. Like I actually just heard this quote the other day, and it was like, if you have a plant and it's dying and it's not growing, like, are you going to blame the plant, or are you going to check the soil, check the water, check the sunlight that it's getting, like all its surroundings and its environment that it's in every day, and see how you can change that to help it grow. And it's true about everybody. Like, if I'm surrounded by negative people, negativity, like people that aren't living the same kind of lifestyle that I'm living, constantly complaining, constantly, talking down, like I'm going to be brought down, like that's just what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And I like to think that I could be that to someone else, like any of my friends or people that I'm close to. Like, if I can bring like Flawless into their life, or just some positivity and like,
your environment and who you surround yourself with is so huge. And I think that one of my biggest problems was I was such a people pleaser for the longest time. And until I really put myself in check, and I was like, these are the people that are genuinely like there for me. And like, I am creating such an unhealthy lifestyle, like falling into bad habits again or something like that. Like, you have to constantly be putting yourself in check, especially if you want to continue to grow.
Amanda, was that something your main focus was when you started Flawless? Was that you wanted to create that community and those good people?
Yes, that's exactly what we wanted when we started Flawless. And it's like when I was younger, I would go to Northeast Racket Club. Like when I was 14 years old, I started at Northeast Racket Club. I had no idea what I was doing, and I just wish I had someone there with me to let me know like what to do, like what body part this is
like a trainer, but a friend.
Yes.
Right.
And then I was doing it all by myself, and I was like, oh my God, this would be so much better with somebody else. Like,
for sure.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean, shout out to you, because you're one of those people who's like, you know what, I'm gonna make that happen. I'm not gonna wait for it and wait for a gym to open. I mean, I'm gonna open my own gym.
Well, let's dive into that too. You guys just had a huge transition. So how has that process been? When did you really did you tell the girls right away, like, hey, this is in the works, or were you?
Oh, we told them.
We told them like a year ahead, and they were like, when is this happening?
2 years ago, because we were actually supposed to take the spot next to us. And then that ended up falling through. We were just going to expand in the same space. We were going to take over the space next door. That ended up not working out.
Thank God. Because the space we have now is so much better.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely
Wait,
beautiful.
so you had a gym before the new one?
Yes.
They just opened a bigger one.
We just moved location. So we started with 1,000 square feet in a retail spot.
Literally like a retail,
I remember when I used to type it into my GPS, it wouldn't come up.
That's
and
pretty
now it's
smart.
4,000 square feet,
let's
garage
go.
door, and when we went to go see it, it was horrible, and I was like, no, I'm out. Like that is just that's disgusting. And then luckily our friends Dom and Mike totally transformed the space for us.
That's amazing.
And now it's like a state-of-the-art facility.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it goes with the saying, "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future." I truly believe in that, and that's
we
something.
love to keep it in the fam.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's next in terms of growth? What are you guys looking to do? And I know it's probably a big whole grand plan, but do you have?
We do have a plan.
We do have a plan. So actually, going off of the new location, we're actually still in that lease for that old spot.
Oh shit!
And we're in it until next March, and we're still paying the rent.
So you have a whole year.
And every month, and it's a retail spot.
Yeah,
it's
I was gonna say, that's expensive.
It is not cheap. And we're not using it. And I'm like, I want to cry
Yeah.
when I get a check like every month. And I'm like, I can't send this anymore. Like, we cannot do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so we marketed it. I literally
someone
put it on
to
Facebook Marketplace. You can't even
put the spot.
I was like, you know what? I'm putting it everywhere. Legit everywhere. I was
That's
like,
so funny.
Anybody need 1,100 square foot retail space?
Does anyone need this?
Bathroom incled.
Probably the most expensive product on that market right now.
It is.
And so then Drew and I were like, why not turn a negative into a positive? And now we are opening a yoga studio.
All into big ideas.
Drew, we're opening
Is this a Loft exclusive?
Yeah.
Loft exclusive.
Oh shit! Let's go.
I hate it.
I love that energy.
I love that.
That's actually really cool.
Gonna be
It's really cool.
amazing.
Hot yoga, men and women.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
Cause
come on out.
yeah, dude, let's
Yeah.
go. Good.
There you go.
We in there.
Maybe you can meet a girl there, you know?
Yeah,
right?
Here we go.
Listen, guys, those questions were
Like
not.
I said, turn everything into a
Those
positive.
questions
Yeah.
weren't for me, okay? They weren't for me, I promise.
No, it's so exciting.
Wait,
I'm
that's
so
so
excited.
exciting.
That we
Now, are you guys? So it's you and Drew are gonna.
Like run the
whole
business.
thing. Do you have coaches and stuff already lined up
We
for?
have a couple.
Yes,
We
because
have a
you
couple.
did
Looking for
yoga.
more.
Huh?
Looking for more.
Looking for more, yeah.
Put on
You know
Facebook
anyone?
Marketplace.
Looking for
No,
more.
kidding.
put on
That's
Craigslist.
Marketplace.
We need a yoga coach.
Yeah.
Someone actually said that today. They were like, you should put it on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my God.
Looking
Wow,
for
really?
coaches.
Yeah.
I'll sign up.
Yeah, right. You're
be-
like actually
I'll be a. Was it? What do you call a yoga?
a yogi.
A yogi?
Your first
Yogi.
class
You're
is
a
free.
yogi.
Yogi
Yeah.
Kev.
First class is free.
Yeah.
Free promos here.
When's it gonna be open? You think?
Hopefully by May 1st.
Wow.
Soon. So we're very busy.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Wow, we should
Yes,
go.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's Drew specifically doing with Fuel Hunt too? Does he work from home?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he goes into
Drew
the office.
owns Fuel Hunt. Drew
Yes.
and my cousin own Fuel Hunt.
Yes.
And they basically run everything. They
Yes.
just
Now, do you guys assist with that as well?
I do. So I am chief operations over at
Yes.
Fuel Hunt.
Wow,
Really-
look at you.
COO.
So I took Drew's spot, which is extremely hard.
Yeah.
No, but it's amazing. A lot of people think that it's hard working with your family, and I mean, it's definitely not the easiest thing
Yeah.
that we've ever done. But
Depends.
yeah, Drew and
I
I are like,
think it could be more beneficial in certain aspects too. Like if my brother was doing something wrong or something, I'd walk right up to him and be
yeah.
like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, we basically do that anyway.
Yeah,
so.
we do
Yeah.
that.
no, it's definitely not the easiest thing. But I mean, it's been, like I said, I was working at Temple and at Frankfurt, and I was just like not happy at all. Like I was like crying on my way to work every day.
Yeah.
Like I just did not like it. And then I started coaching at Flawless, and I would be pool at the hospitals. And then I would start packing for Fuel Hunt. I mean, and originally it was like I would pack like 5 orders a week,
And
like
it was in our
in the
basement.
basement. And
So
I was working in
That's
the
so-
basement.
damn.
I would just come over and pack the orders and then leave, and then I get to hang
Sometimes
out.
hang out.
Yeah, I get to hang out.
Sometimes chill, yeah.
Yeah,
Little-
and
little-
for
the pop-
breakfast,
what was it, the
snack.
popcorn
yeah,
or something?
get a snack. Yeah. Oh my god. Pop-'ems.
That's so funny.
And then like we just truly blew up, which has been a blessing. But we were still in the basement, so that was rough.
Yeah.
And it was just
Very rough.
boxes, like
Boxes
I'll have
all
to
the way
show
up
you
to
guys a
the
video,
ceiling.
but it
Crazy.
was
Gotta
boxes
wild.
see
everywhere.
You gotta see it through, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, real shit. Did a part of you guys enjoy that process? Like, do you look back on it? Like, obviously, granted, you don't.
I don't think Amanda did.
okay.
I did not.
Hold on.
Amanda hated
Hold
My
on.
house was a mess.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. So there's always comes a moment where you realize before something explodes that like this is the last time that it's gonna be like this. Like, did you guys ever have that moment? Did you guys ever manifest like, hey, like we know where this is gonna go, and have that moment where, like, oh, like there's a big chance that this may not be this small anymore. Did you guys ever have that moment?
I mean, I feel like I did. And I feel like when, like, well, at least like Fuel Hunt, like when it was in the basement and it moved out, I was like, wow, like I wanted this to leave for so long,
Yeah.
but like now, like I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
like,
Have, like,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
I was
Yeah,
like,
she
I
missed
can't go
me.
downstairs and just grab whatever shirt I want.
Yeah.
You gotta
I
order
got
it
it.
online
I
at
got
www. That's amazing.
I definitely miss it was definitely got to a point where I was there like all day every day, and it was kind of not good on all of our relationships. But
Yes.
then once you're out, and then especially like Parker, like I've grown up, like I've been with Parker since he's been growing up for so long, and I got to grow up with him when, you know, Amanda was working, and then like I was there all the time. We got to hang out, and then I remember when like the first week we moved out from the basement, and I like called
my
Parker, and he
gosh.
was like sad, like, and he was so excited to talk to me, and
Yeah.
like I went
Aw,
over and he was
that's
so
so
excited, and I
cute.
was like,
Yeah.
it's just like you don't realize, because at the time it seems so sucky, and you just have to like realize like you always, and this is something that we're learning too a lot now, is like being present and like being grateful for every moment that you're in,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
it'll go by and then you'll wish that you had it again. but
As you get older and as you continue to like push your goalposts like back even further, and like because that's the thing, and I feel like you guys have done that substantially, is like you set a goal, you crush it, you set a goal,
Yeah.
you crush it.
Yep.
And as you get closer, it's really important too to going back to saying like remaining grounded and present and being like, let me take this in, because
Yeah.
I remember when I ordered I think what did I order? I ordered like a hoodie or something on Fuel Hunt when there might have been 1,000 followers.
yeah,
And like I still have it, and I look back on it, and I'm like, wow, like I can't believe how like great they're doing.
Yeah.
And then seeing you move into that new space and stuff like that too, like it's crazy to see the progress you guys have made.
And everything's
Holy
just like
shit.
moving so fast.
The 92K now?
Oh,
Yeah, we're
Yes.
shooting for 100,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the
Look at
near
there.
future.
Very near future.
That's amazing.
It's so crazy.
I've gotten like that a lot recently. I remember it was like a stupid story, but we were on the phone one day just like talking, me, Drew, and Amanda, and Amanda was talking. I started singing this song that I always sing when I'm like talking to them, like just like this stupid like jingle that I sing.
Can you sing it for us, actually?
I don't remember what it is.
There's a microphone right
What
there.
is it? I think it's from the breakup, and it's like do 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 do, and it's like that scene from the breakup. And they start to sing, and I always sing it, and Amanda hates it. She's like, stop singing that, because every time you sing it, Drew starts singing it, then I start singing it. And she was like, there's this song that I always sing in the kitchen. And she's like, I can't think of it, but there's this song that I always sing in the kitchen. So we were just talking, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And we were talking about something else, and then we were looking at the Fuel Hunt post for the day, and it was like this eagle. And the way that the eagle was flying, this song popped into my head, and it was a song from High School Musical, and it was like, we're soaring. And Amanda goes, oh my God, like that's the song that I sing in the kitchen all the time. And I was
in
like,
the kitchen, it's the weirdest
That's
thing.
so
and I was
funny.
like, oh my God,
That's
let's just all take a
hysterical.
moment and realize we were supposed to be in this moment together, because
We
like
were.
that was the weirdest thing.
That's
it was
so funny.
strange. It was so
Weird.
cool though.
That
So
is,
funny.
so I'm big on like signs and
Yeah.
stuff too,
Yes.
and I think that that's huge. And like that's also hysterical because it's so.
They're
but,
singing
like,
High School Musical in
but
the kitchen for no reason.
It's hysterical too because like you see how raw and like close you guys are and everything,
Yeah.
and you have something that, I mean, one, it's like a Hardo brand. Like it's like,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
like,
yes.
and
Yeah,
like just
for
to
sure.
see the faces behind that and stuff
Yeah.
too, like I think it's huge to really take a dive into like people's actual story behind brands like this and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
too, because you're like, these are normal people with
Yeah.
with hefty goals, and it's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
can do it if you put your mind to it and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean that you're freaking behind the scenes crying like, I don't know how to work this with all
Yeah.
these. Like
You
you
might
guys
be.
have a good system.
You might
But
be.
I
Might
mean, you
be.
could. You
I mean,
could.
there's been
I mean,
plenty
there's
of
definitely
tears.
some. Yeah, there's definitely
And
some
hard
days.
times, and
There has to be, though.
you know,
How do you
working
how do
24/7.
you combat those days though too? Like
I had this happen yesterday, actually. I feel like, because there's so much going on right now, like with starting this yoga studio,
Yes.
and there's like so much that has to be done, and our deadline is May 1st. And I'm like, I just felt so overwhelmed yesterday. And Drew's like, I'll go pick Parker up from school. I
Yeah.
was like, thank you.
so,
But,
it
like,
all
literally-
goes back to having a supportive significant
Yeah.
other. So
Right.
I'm fucked.
No.
But literally, like when he left, I was like, oh my God, like I need a minute. And
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I could have a breakdown right
Yeah.
now because I felt so overwhelmed
yeah.
in that moment. And I was like, I kept like viewing things as like, I have to do this, I have to do
Right,
this. And I was
right.
like, once I changed my perception
Perception
of,
is
I
huge.
have
Huge.
to, I get to, I was literally like, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Like I am just so grateful to have this
Yeah.
opportunity. And I literally did not
Yeah.
bawl
Change.
my eyes
Yeah.
out.
I
Like,
dropped this.
I literally
Yeah.
almost went from
Yeah.
like having a complete meltdown
Yeah.
yesterday
Yeah.
to
You're like,
feeling
I'm
so
lucky.
grateful.
Yep, my grandma drops this
Yes.
quote. She told me this quote. I drop it probably every single episode, and I always have a moment in almost every episode. My grandma told me when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
as simple as
It
that.
is.
You know,
It's
We
it's
were
so
in,
bad. It's just crazy. It's
your
literally
perception,
was yesterday.
your perception of it.
We were
Absolutely.
in California, and there was another guy that was, we were doing this photo shoot, and this other guy, we were outside, and it was like really hot. It was super sunny, and the one guy there was like, oh my God, like it's so hot out here. It's so sunny, like blah, blah. And then 2 seconds later, I was like, oh my God, it's such a beautiful day out. Like, and the other guy that was with us, he was like, perception's everything. Like he just
It is.
had noticed
It
that
is
conversation.
everything.
And
Yeah.
I was like, that kind of hit me. I was like,
But it's so
It's so
true.
crazy.
Yeah.
And even in like the most minor details of a day, if you switch that perspective,
Yep.
like your perception, it's so big. And I think that I've like transitioned so much. Like I go back sometimes too, and like I rewatch the episodes and stuff. But like where I was 6 months ago to now too, like I can't tell you how many times I take a step back and I'm like, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get lost in translation. You're saying
Oh, yeah.
you're worried about, you know, having all these businesses and all the new yoga studio, whereas you were worried about having one person show up to your class.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it all got perspective.
Full
So
circle.
Full circle.
you guys,
Crazy.
full circle, Merch coming
Getting
soon.
that tattooed on my forehead.
It's the fat circle.
Yeah.
So transitioning into a little bit of, obviously we talk about how crazy your lives are. What do you do to decompress? What is, obviously, you know, you have your son Parker. What do you guys do to decompress?
I don't know if he's decompressing, but
He's definitely not.
Yeah.
But he brings so much joy
Yeah.
to every
Okay,
single
yeah.
day.
So when you're not working, what do you?
Sweetest.
I feel like you do more stuff, which is like crazy because everyone thinks that like I have all this energy and I'm always so happy,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm literally like, "I don't do anything."
Yeah.
So that's good though. That's good.
I think Drew are
That's
like
good though.
homebodies.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I have grown into a little bit more, but I will say, touching on the thing that you said, Paige, was when you get kind of overwhelmed. I used to get like that a lot, especially with like this new position and like, I mean, Drew, I think definitely relies on me a lot as like his sister, like knowing, and Amanda, like kind of being their both of their right hands, like through both of these companies. Like I remember at a point when we were growing in Fuel Hunt, like they looked at me and they were like, because I was coaching 5 days a week at sometimes 7 days a week at Flawless, and then being the only one working for Fuel Hunt, like packing and stuff. So they were like, you're going to have to choose between one of these, and because they both can't, you're not giving 100% if you're giving both of them 50%.
It's fair. It's fair.
So I was like, oh my God, like, so I had to,
In the moment.
I had to let go of Flawless for a second.
Of course, I wasn't there. Drew
Oh God,
was.
Amanda was hysterical when we told her.
Oh my.
So
But-
naturally,
Oh
she
my
was,
God.
It was a
Drew.
rough
You're like
transition.
naturally, you're like, actually, she put all of the stress on
Yeah,
me.
but it thankfully worked out amazing, and I love coaching at Flawless. So I do coach. I still coach there sometimes, at least once a week. But so at the time when I was in this new position and all these things were happening, and I was getting really overwhelmed, and I think I actually went through a period of having like kind of mini breakdowns and like crying and like getting upset, and I would always be reminded like, okay, well, I should be grateful to be here and stuff like that. But it does get overwhelming when you're doing so many things. So one thing that I've worked on is just taking a breath and going step by step. So like that would be my advice to anyone that just has so much stuff to do, is like, I'm like, okay, I have all these things to do that's like taking my attention. Like I would answer one email and then do this and then do this, and like I was all over the place. I'm like, let me complete one task and then move on to the next one.
For sure.
And Fuel Hunt actually has daily attack plan, which is going to be a new thing coming out, but basically you put in your goals. So you know, how many books you want to read for the year. Like if you want to, like one of mine is like lowering my body fat percentage, becoming the best leader, becoming the best sister, becoming the best friend that I can be, like the best version of myself. And then you put in actions every day that help you get to your goal. So every day I go into that daily attack plan every morning and I write down the task that I need to do that is going to get me closer to that goal. So if that's read 10 pages, if that's Ramwad, which is like yoga, like, you know, workout, sauna, you know, call my little brother. Like I put that in there the other day, like call my little brother, because like since we moved out, we haven't got to see him. And I'm like I want to be the best sister. I want to be the best friend, the best leader.
sure.
So I'm like, let me put that on there because it's something important to me that I need to make sure that I remember to do. So that's my advice.
It's awesome.
I
man.
think that's huge too, and
Smart.
I think it's really important, and it's something that I struggle with is prioritizing when you have to wear multiple hats throughout the day. And I feel like I'm involved with so much, and I've taken a step back and I've realized me as a person, if I'm not involved in a lot, I don't feel fulfilled.
Yes.
It's just I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me too, and like I've told Kev before too, like I had a burnout point and stuff too, but like there's a specific amount of stuff that I genuinely love to do, and if I'm not doing it, I don't feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And if people are attacking me and they're like, don't burn yourself out, I tend to get in my head and I'm like, am I going to burn myself out?
Yeah. Right.
So if I don't have things prioritized
Right.
and like written down and be able to shift in and be like, this is the hat I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
Let me put this one away.
Yeah.
They say how you do anything is how you do everything. Like if your car's a mess, if your room is a mess, if your life's a mess, like if you're eating crappy, like that's going to affect every part of your life. Like you have to have organization and structure and like have control over like what you do every day.
Yeah, coming from me, it's true that Chick-fil-A creeps up on you.
There you go.
But now you've actually told me that too. Like you even told me like just to like pick things you want to like slow down, like stop trying to do everything. You know what I mean? Because that can overwhelm you. I actually went to I had a therapy phone call Because I was talking about it to Meg, and she put me in touch with this woman. She had this crazy like British accent. It's hard to explain, but it was one of Meg's friends of a friend, and so I got on a phone call, and she said, "Kev, just like write everything down that you have coming up. Just tell me everything. Tell me over the phone everything you have to do like in the next 2 weeks." And I told her everything I have going on, and she put it in this separate groups for me, and I have it on my wall in my room. It's like different projects, like I have 4 different ones, and I have different things down, and that helps me see it, visualize it every day, so what I'm passionate about and what I care about.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because you can say, oh, I want to do this and that, but it's like you just overwhelm yourself and you get paralysis. You do nothing at all. You know what I mean?
And they always say stress is a choice. So like another thing that's really good to do is if you are like overwhelmed and like worried about a bunch of different things, if you write them all down, and I've told a lot of my friends this, and it's super helpful. Write everything down that's worrying you, like whether literally anything that's taking up space.
I don't think
in
I
your
have
mind.
enough
You
pages.
could. You really
I'm kidding.
Get a yellow pages,
You
blank
write
yellow
everything
pages.
down that's bothering you, and then you go through them and you say, what in here do I actually have control of? Like
Yeah.
if it's
Control
being
the controllable.
overweight, if it's meal prepping, it's all these things. Like you can choose the things that can help you if you're in control of it. If you're not in control of it, then why are you worrying about it? Like you can't control what someone else is going to do. You can't control what someone else is going to think. Like, so go through that list and be like, okay, what can I control and how can I fix it? Like, how can I work towards making that accomplishable, making that a goal, and like working to make myself better?
There's satisfaction in crossing one thing off.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And it's so cliche, but the make your bed. It's so cliche,
Every
but
morning
it's
I make
true.
my bed.
It is true, and cleaning your room and shit, because that does, like, my room's a mess.
Let's go look at Kev's room.
Room Raiders.
Absolutely
Room
not.
Raiders is coming back.
It's actually not bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Room Raiders is coming back.
Throwback. No, I wish.
I was like, because
I
I'm
wish.
tuning in.
Yeah.
I do not watch TV
I
at
know.
all. I would tune in.
Oh,
The
100%.
bonus for the
At
double
MTV.
wall. That's so funny. But it's exciting, and I'm really excited that you guys have a lot going on. It's really nice to connect with people who are very passionate about what they do, very good at what they do, and people who think bigger than what's around them. You know, because I always say it can be tough in an environment like this where it's not. Like it's not LA or New York, one of them cities where it's like, influencers everywhere, all the all the pictures and shit like that. But like it's just people who just want to do better and want to do it better for the right reasons. And you guys are doing such a good job.
I think it's so huge that you guys continue to stick to your vision and you don't let it get to your head. Because you guys have had so much success, and I think it's big to keep that vision of, hey, we want to be vulnerable. We want to create this safe place for you. That has never changed.
Right.
Yeah.
We just want to keep saving
Changing
lives.
lives.
Yes.
Saving lives.
Literally.
Changing
That's
lives.
how, like, me and Kev have, like, when we, like, actually sit down and, like, talk about and stuff, our values truly align with everything that we want to do.
Yeah.
And giving back and like, there's certain things where, like, we'll have moments of, like, I mean, we do so much together, but, like, we'll reach out to each other and be like, this is an opportunity, blah, blah. And we're like, do it. This is great. This aligns with your goals. This aligns with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's very big on keeping that at the forefront, and you guys have done that since
Give
the
first
beginning.
has always been like
Yeah.
a
I
huge
love
thing
it.
for us.
Absolutely.
I love it, and I think people can really learn from this. And for people watching who are affected with their weight and who need an outlet, especially females, I know it's very, very prevalent in females. Go to Flawless Fitness, like straight up.
Yes.
I'll have the. Is there like a website or anything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll have it all.
First class free.
I'll have it linked in the description.
free.
I'll be back.
First 3 classes
free.
free. I'll be there for yoga. Dylan, we're gonna film it. We're gonna film it.
Yes.
But before we end off, I just want to like kind of dive into like, I know we kind of talked about this, but to kind of wrap up, like, for somebody who is not happy with themselves, who wants to get better, who wants to change their life, where do they start? Obviously by going to Flawless Fitness, of course. But like, what's the first step? What's the very first step? Besides diet, besides
I feel like
Yeah,
coming
I
to
mean,
terms with it. you
Yeah,
want
coming to
change.
terms
If
with
you
it,
you have to
exactly.
want it. That's
That's
where it
exactly
all
what it is.
comes from. Like they've tried to get me to do things when I didn't want it, and it just doesn't work. Like if you're not there and you don't want it, you're not gonna put effort into it.
right.
So
And we have all the tools at Flawless, but
For sure.
like, and
You have
some
to believe in yourself.
Right,
Yeah.
like,
Just
gotta
and
walk in the
we
door,
have the
right?
programming, we have the workouts,
Yeah.
we have the community, we have nutrition.
and you have to be willing to learn. Like, you can't come in with, like, thinking that you know every movement, thinking that you know the best things to eat. Like, even like I said, with almond milk today, like, you're always learning. Like, and Drew always says, like, if you're the smartest person, I'm sure he didn't say this, but he always tells us, if you're the smartest person in the room, like, you're in the wrong room. Like, you have to always want to learn
It's a popular saying, but it's a very good one. So, Drew,
one
last tally for
take a shot. But that's my biggest thing. And I had to learn that a lot. I mean, I definitely had an attitude where I was like, I knew everything, and like I didn't need you to tell me anything, and I just have completely.
I think that's also like a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Like I used to be like that too, and I was like,
and
I was like, I look back on that girl, and I'm like, I want to slap her and be like, who do you think you are? Sit down.
Same thing. Yes, I agree.
But definitely like coming to terms with it, like realizing it, wanting to make the change for yourself, and then doing
I would say
it,
if you want to start with something small, is just looking at the labels on what you're eating. If we're going strictly like, you know, health and fitness related,
that's me.
Is looking at the labels. Like, stop eating fast food. Don't try and make it chicken and veggies for every meal, even though you can make it spicy. But just like try new things. Like, always try new things. Like, I tried pickled onions for the first time. Like,
she's
2 weeks
obsessed.
ago.
She has
they're fire. They're good
I
as
just
shit.
made my own at home the other day.
I've
I've
never
never
had
had
a pickled onion.
obsessed. Oh my God, they're so good. Like, but just really reading the labels is so big. Like, there's so many things that I was buying that, you know, protein bars, like they make it look so healthy. And I think it's a real big reason why, you know, America is so overweight in general today is because vending machines, what are they filled with? It's soda and it's candy and it's like
even Gatorades and body armors.
To think that you're feeling like people make fun of Journey Manning because of like
I'm like looking at my water.
What's in there, Paige? Like, look at the ingredients.
No idea.
Karma.
I've had enough karma. Please stop.
Yeah, there's karma coming. It's ironic, isn't it?
But like, people will like say things about like what Drew and Amanda, how they raised Parker, and like obviously no one's perfect, but he loves broccoli and he loves a cake pop like from Starbucks. You know what I mean? Like, they don't.
He likes broccoli. Can't put anything on it.
Yeah.
No.
Don't roast
even
it.
Be roasted.
Don't roast it. But he loves vegetables. He loves
chicken.
fruit. He eats eggs and cashews and strawberries every day for breakfast. And it's like what if you ask him what his favorite food is, it's eggs and strawberries. That's his favorite meal.
I mean, why would you talk bad on that?
Yeah. So, and I'm just like, but if you look at the things like Gushers, like things that we ate when we were kids, like I'm like, no wonder I was overweight.
It's all
like,
garbage.
It's
garbage. Like,
what did you say? Poppers? I don't know you. But truly, it's filled with crap, and it's like sugar. There's so many different kinds of sugar in it. They'll just mask it into
like
different crazy words that you don't know.
Right. Yeah. When I go food shopping, I actually do make it a point. I avoid the snacks. Like I do. Yeah. Like I have like I have granola. I have what I don't even know
what granola do you have.
It's like some.
Oh, you're getting called out.
I'll show you when the episode's over. I'll show you. It's just like a bag of granola.
I found some good granola, so I'll let you know.
Okay. But no, I have some healthy stuff. I actually have to go food shopping, but it reminded me.
We're gonna go look at Kev's fridge and
we'll rate it.
My fridge is empty.
Last piece of advice: if you could tell anybody anything, you can leave us off on.
Anything.
Anything else?
Oh my God.
You go first. I need a sec. I need to think.
Yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
I feel like I've just been saying it the whole time. It's just doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And finding happiness in yourself and really just wanting it.
It's amazing. Bre.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bre.
Sorry. That wasn't
long enough.
I would say the same thing, and I would just say, I was thinking about this a lot because we're of our coaches' tips, but it's just like you say, like, be vulnerable, like, just put yourself out there, like, take that chance, take that risk. You know, we're huge on that. Like, everyone, if I would have not taken this risk and I would have stayed, like, I was making plenty of money being an extra, you know what I mean? Like, and you just have to take a risk of, like, you might be embarrassed at first, like, you might not be the best at everything, but just know that you're going to learn, you're going to be better, and then you're going to be crushing it. Like, the fact that I can be in girls' lives that I've seen come in, like, one of my best friends, Caroline, she came in, we used to have a beginner's class on Mondays.
I love Caroline.
Oh my gosh.
She came in to my beginner's class on a Monday night and a couple years ago, and now she is literally crushing it. She crushes pull-ups, burpees, push-ups. Like,
shout out to Caroline.
Beautiful to see. Shout out Caroline. That is beautiful to see, though.
And that's all the time. You know what I mean? Here, and it's such an amazing experience for us to be a part of that. And we're just here for you all the way. So, and not just like plugging Flawless, but
no.
like,
this is all about. I want this to.
I would love you guys all to come to Flawless, but truly, like, just, you know, find a friend, find someone that enjoys what you enjoy, and like has that same goal and same vision, and like just get moving and like just take that risk.
Yeah,
and be open to growth.
Yeah.
Constantly.
absolutely. And
Keep
it's
growing.
what helped you. So like, why wouldn't you be like, listen, I love Flawless. Like, absolutely.
I do
like,
love Flawless. Come
like,
to Flawless.
you know what I mean?
I'll be there.
For sure, yeah. So, and then also too, like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you mess up or you fail after the first year,
Exactly.
and you
Get back up.
You
You know how many times I've fallen flat on my face?
Yes.
A lot.
Get
All
back
the
up.
time.
A lot.
I've seen it.
God.
No I'm kidding. No I'm kidding. But like, in all seriousness, like, let's say you fail, right? Like, even for let's say I want to do a podcast, right? I almost at 50 episodes, right? People told me I wouldn't make it past 10, and it's like now I'm almost at 50. Like, so it's like.
And you grow your relationships with so many people.
Exactly.
Too.
I would have never met you guys.
Oh my
So
God,
many people.
yes.
We get to sit down with you guys, like,
Definitely.
and just to watch that growth and stuff too, like interning and having an interview with Drew, sitting in some of your first classes, like to see 5 years later, it's crazy how much can
Don't
change.
let anyone bring you down is like a huge thing too. Like, I mean, between Flawless and Fuel Hunt, like, and my journey in general, like, so many people have said we would never make it. Like, I was stupid for quitting my full-time position in medical. Like, people
so
laugh.
many
And it's
haters.
funny because the people that make fun of you then are the first people that are like, can I get a shirt? Can I get a hat? Can I get a discount? And
Can
I'm
I
like,
come work for you?
yeah, can I get a job? I'm like,
That's how it works.
oh, now
That's how
that
it-
I'm
Excuse me.
living my best over here,
Yeah.
and you want a job. Like,
I've seen it so many times
crazy.
where people like I study people and I see it so many times. So like it's just the way the world works. And as long as you have 3 or 4 people, you can take over the world. That's what I always say.
yeah, you
and,
just
That
gotta
is
keep
true.
going.
and the worst thing that can
And
happen.
luckily we have the 3 and 4 of us.
Exactly. And I got my
Included.
3 right here.
Yeah,
us
that's
3 right here.
amazing.
So it's like the worst thing that can happen is that you fuck up and you start again. Like it's who cares?
It's a constant learning process.
Especially if you're not happy with what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Just like for me, small example. I moved out of my family's house to start to live here. I didn't think I had that much money in rent. I didn't really have any money.
You figured it out.
I had to figure it out,
Everything's
right? Figure it the fuck out and just take the time, take the leap, and at least try.
I heard this other quote today, and it was all my quotes, but
I love it.
She's
We
full
love
of
quote
them.
dropping
I
here.
love to get all of them tattooed on her. So.
oh my god, I have
Her
a
whole
million,
arm is just
I
quotes.
literally have a million random
Going
quotes all over
crazy.
me. But it was really cool. It was a little like part of a podcast, and they were saying if you could set a goal, then what's the worst that could happen? So it just reminded me. So he was like, you know, set something for yourself. Like if it's sign up for your first Flawless class, like sign up for a Spartan race, sign up for this, because that date when that, you know, Monday night comes around at 7:00 and you're supposed to be there, like you're going to get there. And if you don't, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, you're going to feel bad about yourself, but you know, 99% of the time you're going to push yourself to get there. You
Feel
know
bad
what
about
I mean?
yourself
Same
that much
video.
anyway.
Jody
Yeah.
Cena.
Oh my god, yeah. So like if you don't though, if you're like, oh, like I
hysterical.
want to do a Spartan race, I want to go to Flawless, but like you never actually do it, like you're never gonna get there. So that would be.
And if you
another
do
piece
take
of
that
advice.
first step, give yourself credit. Like I think that kind of gets slept on too. Like you went to your first class. That's awesome. That's
Yeah, like,
that's
you
one more
even
class.
Even if you don't do like the best that you had expectations for and stuff too, you made it there.
Doesn't
That
matter.
happens all the time. I literally called them the other day and I was like, not crying, but I was like a little upset because like I wasn't feeling too great and I didn't have the best workout, and I was like, I could have done better. Like, and I was like, you know what? And Drew, another tally on the board, but he was like,
Shout out producer Dome.
he was like, you showed up today, you got moving, and like, you know, you'll have a better day because of it. Like, who cares? Like, you put your best in. So even if you're going for years and years, or if it's your first class, like you just got to put your best foot forward and try your best, and that's all that matters.
And if there's anyone who can do it, you know, take notes from Bre and Amanda.
Right.
They took the leap and it paid off for them, and they found what they love. And you know, people who watch and listen, you guys can too. Like
Even if you fall off, get back up.
Doesn't matter.
That's
Doesn't
huge.
matter.
That's
huge.
That's the thing too.
Because I think that people get really stuck in that. Like I had an issue with that for a while too, and I was just like, I feel like a fraud because I would be preaching about something and then I would feel like I fell off or something. Get back up.
Yeah.
Get back up.
And the thing too is, if let's say if you do something and you fail, and you can do something else, it may not be for you.
And what did you
know?
learn in that moment?
Exactly.
It's
How
about
do you grow from that?
Exactly.
For sure.
I
Yeah,
think
we
that's
had
huge.
plenty of girls that like have left Flawless. We've had girls like for like months, weeks, like, and then they come back and they're like,
Always
I just
come
had to
back.
come back. And I mean, it happens literally to all of us. And I used to do that. Was like, if you want to talk about addiction,
You left
like,
Flawless too.
I did. And I was like, but if
I
you
got
wanna
you,
talk
man. I
about
got you.
Addiction.
There you go.
I had this
It's good.
addiction to like, if I was eating bad one day, I was like, well, I gotta chalk the weekend. And if I was chalking the weekend, I'm like, I gotta chalk the week. Like, you know?
I'm one of those too.
And I'm like, I can't
one of those
do that.
too.
Like, you gotta get out of it.
Yeah,
You
I'm
gotta
And then you're like,
get
I
back.
gotta just start fresh on
Yeah,
Monday. And it's
Monday.
like, bitch,
Monday
it's been
comes
3
around.
months.
Yeah.
I had Chick-fil-A yesterday for lunch, and I was like, I'll start healthy next Monday.
No, yeah, it's so
But
true.
today, I drove past Chick-fil-A and I said, I'm going to cook something. I made some chicken.
Wow.
corn
That's
and
a win.
and
Corn.
some pasta.
See that?
Now we're gonna hold each other
It's
accountable.
ba-
because we-
corn and pasta.
All right.
It's what I have, but I gotta go
No,
food shopping
it's
yet.
definitely better
I
than
gotta
fast
go.
food.
I told you, I gotta go food
I'll
shopping.
take it.
No, yeah, I definitely will. But
Yeah.
it's so true.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you
What
again.
episode are we on?
47, 47, yes.
Wow.
Episode 50 is
47.
coming up soon. We got a lot coming up soon. We got our first fundraiser coming up, the Grace Project's first fundraiser, April 29th. We've been planning it since December.
April, my head's gonna spin. That's why when I told you when I walked in, like I'm going cross-eyed right
Yeah.
now. Talk
Yeah.
about switching hats.
It's go,
Yeah.
it's
There's
go,
a
it's go
lot.
mode.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're in
That's
go
awesome.
time right
We're
now.
in-
We're in go
That's
time.
amazing.
very very
It's
busy.
the manifestation of
Yeah.
an idea becoming into fruition, and it's
Wow, I love
yeah, so
that.
Exactly,
It's
so-
exciting.
exactly. So thank you guys for watching the Loft. This is Paige, Brianna, Amanda. I'm Kev, and peace, guys.
Bye.
See ya.